Hey everyone, welcome back to Jessica's channel. I'm Diego, Jessica's friend. Today, I'm borrowing Jessica's spotlight for a bit to share my own English learning story with you. Shh, keep it a secret, okay? Or else I'll have to treat her to a meal at a restaurant. There was a time when I struggled so much with speaking English. I used to freeze whenever someone spoke to me in English. Let me take you back to one of my most embarrassing moments.
How I spoke English fluently in 6 months.
All right, Diego, time to practice your English. Hi, what can I get you today?
I want a big coffee.
Do you mean a large coffee?
Yes, large coffee.
Would you like it hot or iced?
Hot or...
Hot or iced, Diego.
Iced coffee. I want iced coffee. What? Why are you laughing?
You just asked for ass coffee.
So?
It's iced, not ass.
I mean iced coffee. Iced coffee.
That'll be $5.50. Hey, at least it sounds unique.
I'll never speak English again. Yep, that happened. I proudly walked into the cafe and asked for an iced coffee instead of an iced coffee. There was a full second of silence. And then chaos. The waitress tried so hard to keep a straight face. Meanwhile, the guy next to me almost choked on his drink. Lesson learned. Always pronounce the D in iced coffee. But hey, at least there was just one waitress and a few customers. No big deal, right? Now, imagine making a fool of yourself in front of your entire class. Yeah, that happened too. Let me take you there. Alright, class, I have graded your history tests. Some of you did really well, but some of you, well, let's just say you need to try harder. Diego, you totally bombed your history test. You must have studied more. Bombed? No, Professor, I bombed nothing. I'm not a terrorism.
Oh no, Diego is dangerous. Someone call security.
No, Diego, I didn't mean to call you a terrorism. Why are you laughing? I did nothing. Bombed means you failed very badly. That's why you must study more. So I didn't actually explode anything? No, Diego, you just failed the test.
Diego just declared war on history class.
Should we evacuate?
Well, at least you're now officially the most memorable student here.
I want to disappear. Surprised? Didn't expect that I used to be that bad at English, huh? Yeah, but that's funny, right? I stood in front of the entire class, completely humiliated, all because I misunderstood one word. Bombed means failed. But I thought it meant boom. You know, like actual bombing? I was so embarrassed, and I wanted to disappear right there. Back then, my English was terrible. I struggled with simple conversations. I got confused all the time, and honestly, I avoided speaking as much as possible. But now I can speak English confidently. I don't panic when I talk to people. I don't freeze when someone asks me a question. So, how did I do it? How did I go from that awkward, embarrassed girl to someone who can actually hold the conversation? Are you curious? Do you want to know the secret? Well, let me tell you how. Oh, Jessica, I can't believe that just happened. Everyone laughed at me twice this month.
Well, at least you made their day more entertaining.
I just want to speak English properly and not embarrass myself every time.
Then you have to practice more, Diego. I have some tips that might help you. First, immerse yourself in English. Change your phone's language, watch movies, and even think in English. Like, when you're buying coffee, don't just translate in your head. Try to think of the whole conversation in English. And secondly, speak every day. Talk to yourself, record your voice, or find a language partner. Oh, and practice shadowing.
Shadowing? That sounds spooky.
No. You just need to repeat after native speakers. Copy their pronunciation and rhythm.
Oh, like mimicking.
Exactly. And set small goals so you don't feel overwhelmed.
And of course, besides Jessica's help, I also looked for solutions on my own. Professor. Diego, do you need something? Professor, I want to improve my English. Do you have any advice? That's a great attitude, Diego. Have you tried talking with native speakers? Oh, I will. I'll also practice shadowing, thinking in English, and, bombing my vocabulary? You mean boosting your vocabulary? Yeah, boosting. And I swear, I'm not a terrorism. Every day, a little brighter. Every fall, a lesson fighter. No escape, no regression. If I can do it, so can you. Trust me, I know how hard it feels in the beginning, but if you keep going, you'll get there. Failure is the key to success. That's my story. But hey, what about you? Have you ever had an embarrassing moment in English? Or do you have your own way of improving? I'd love to hear it. Drop a comment below and share your story. Let's learn from each other.
I'm afraid of making mistakes when speaking English. Hi everyone, my name is Chris. Today I want to share some tips for practicing speaking English.
Hi Chris, we're so excited to hear what you have to share.
First, do you know many people are afraid of making mistakes when speaking English? That's true, because nobody except a comedian likes to be laughed at.
Not to mention, you can make a language error that could completely offend someone, cause misunderstanding,
Or have people think you are stupid.
That's why many people stick to using familiar, simple words because they feel more comfortable and confident with them.
Yeah, that does apply to me. I tend to forget the new words I learn and often find myself using the same basic vocabulary. Tam, you're not alone in that struggle. It's a common issue for many language learners. So how can I overcome this? One thing you can try is actively incorporating the new words into your conversations as soon as you learn them.
That's true. It sounds cliché, but it takes practice and repetition to integrate new vocabulary into our daily conversations.
Another reason why some people struggle to speak English well is because they learn it in a passive way.
Absolutely, Chris. I had a friend named Sarah who struggled, despite having a good grasp of grammar and vocabulary.
I can relate to that, Mike. I've also found myself falling into the trap of passive learning at times. Well, active engagement is key to mastering any language. Mike, how did you help Sarah overcome this obstacle?
I encouraged Sarah to participate in speaking activities and practice conversations with native English speakers.
That's wonderful. Learning English should involve active participation and practice. Exactly. Context is crucial for meaningful conversation. We need to practice using these words flexibly. Tam, you've raised an important point about reflex memory. Simply memorizing words won't help us speak English naturally.
We need to actively practice using these words in real conversations to develop our reaction ability.
And remember that the fear of making mistakes can hold people back from speaking English confidently. It's important to create a supportive environment where making mistakes is just seen as part of the learning process.
I think you have to make a habit of studying every day.
I agree. To improve our English speaking skills, you just have to practice speaking as much as possible. And it's also crucial to take a moment to think before we speak. You know, try to use those new words that you've learned. Okay, who else has other methods for learning English?
Well, I often use an English dictionary.
Interesting. And how does that help?
It not only helps to expand vocabulary, but also enhances the usage in context.
I understand. I used to do that to expand my vocabulary. It's a fantastic method to deepen our language knowledge and improve overall English skills. Is there anything else you found to be particularly helpful, Tam? Well, I find it beneficial to focus on learning vocabulary within specific topics. Can you be more specific? Well, by honing in on specific themes, we can develop a more comprehensive understanding of related words and phrases. That's interesting. I think another way to broaden our vocabulary and expose ourselves to diverse language styles is by reading newspapers and watching English videos. And I have a super helpful option for that. Here is a list of specific exercises for you to practice speaking every day. Ah, I know this channel. It's super helpful and has significantly transformed my language learning experience.
How so?
They provide a dynamic and engaging way to immerse ourselves in the language, making the learning process more enjoyable and effective.
What did you learn from it?
A lot. It helped me pick up new words, phrases, and learn how to speak more naturally. It's fascinating to hear about your experiences, Tam. Thank you, Chris.
I'd like to add one more thing from my experience. Whenever I come across a new word, I'll find its meaning and construct a sentence using it.
In your opinion, what is the key factor to learning a new language?
I believe that their willingness to actively engage and immerse themselves in that language.
I couldn't agree more. It takes tons of will to make a conscious effort to use that language every day.
After all, consistency is key, so practicing every day is vital.
You guys have made a great point. Practice builds fluency and confidence in speaking English, be it through conversation or language exchange programs.
And let's not forget the importance of creating a supportive environment for language learning.
That's right. It's one of the first things we talked about today, didn't we?
Uh-huh. Practicing within a supportive community or with language exchange partners provides a nurturing environment for growth.
In the end, it's all about finding what works best for each individual and being consistent in our efforts. Help! I can't remember the vocabulary. All right, guys, let's get started with the vocabulary game. The rules are simple. We take turns giving a word, and the next person has to give a synonym for that word. You get a point for every correct answer. Sounds good to me. I'll start. The word is happy. Joyful. Delighted. Cheerful. All right, my turn. The word is eloquent. Articulate. Expressive. I don't really know any other words for that. Can I pass? Sure, you can pass. Let's move on to the next word. Okay, the word is adamant. Inflexible. I don't know that one either. I don't think I'm good at this game, guys. It's okay, don't worry about it. Maybe we can switch up the game so everyone can play. I suddenly remember that I have some work to do right now. You guys just keep playing. I need to go. Hey, Julie, why are you sitting here all alone? Do you want to join us for the next game? No, I don't think so. I can't keep up with everyone else. What's wrong? I'm just not really good at these vocabulary games. I understand. Learning vocabulary can be challenging sometimes, especially when you're trying to remember so many words at once. Yeah, exactly. I can learn grammar well, but it's just the vocabulary that I struggle with. Don't worry, Julie. I can understand how you feel. I used to have trouble with vocabulary too. Really? You? Yeah, but there are study tips that can help you overcome the problem. Can you help me with that? Of course. I can come to your house and we can study together. We can go through the words and maybe use some flashcards to make it more fun. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Can we plan it for the weekend? Sure, let's do that. In the meantime, don't feel bad about yourself. Everyone learns at their own speed. Thank you so much, David. You're such a good friend. No problem, Julie. That's what friends are for. Hi, David. Thanks for coming over. Hi, Julie. How are you doing? I'm fine. Still struggling with learning English vocabulary. I can't seem to remember any words when I need them. I used to have the same problem. But don't worry, I have learned a few tips and now my vocabulary is pretty good. That is amazing. Please come in. Thank you. Can you share with me how you learned vocabulary? Of course. Firstly, one thing I do is select vocabulary to learn. Our brain usually remembers what is related to ourselves. So, learning random English vocabulary will not be effective. You have to try to associate the word with something meaningful to you. That makes sense. How do I do that? You have to put the word in a specific context that you find interesting or associated with your hobby. For example, if you learn the word delicious, you could associate it with a favorite food of yours, like pizza or ice cream. Oh, I think I understand. So, I will make a list of words, then find examples to make it easy to remember. And then start memorizing them. You got it now. Once you have memorized the simple words, start increasing the difficulty gradually. Okay, but I'm still a bit confused in choosing words to learn. My advice is you can learn vocabulary by topic. For example, you can look for new words in the restaurant and start learning them. Or a topic you are interested in, such as makeup or shopping, as I know. That sounds like a smart way to go about it. Okay, let me take a note. Done. What next?
Well, you can learn vocabulary through passages, books, TV, and even pictures.
Pictures?
Yes, you can try to name everything you see in a picture in English.
Oh, okay. I got it. Your ways are amazing, David. Can you share more with me?
Sure. Another thing is you can go deeper into the root word when learning vocabulary.
Why would that help?
Well, understanding the prefixes and suffixes can give you a lot of clues about what a word means. For example, the prefix multi means many. So words like multicultural mean relating to many different cultures.
Oh, I see what you mean. And what about suffixes?
For example, the suffix ian usually refers to people. So politician refers to someone involved in politics, while musician refers to someone who plays music.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like paying attention to root words could really help me expand my vocabulary.
Definitely. Once you start recognizing patterns in words, it becomes a lot easier to understand and remember them.
Wow, that's such a good way to learn vocabulary.
Yes, it is. And don't forget to repeat and review the words you have learned many times.
That all sounds great. I will learn as you said.
And it's also important to create a study habit.
How can I do it?
I usually watch the 20-minute study routine video on the channel Learn English with Jessica. You can search for it on YouTube. It will help you to create a study habit.
I will definitely check that out. Do you have any other tips?
Yes.
What is it?
Imagination is also very important in learning English.
How can imagination help me learn vocabulary?
You can imagine contexts where the vocabulary can be used, and you can practice with yourself.
Interesting. Did you do the same thing before?
Yes, I did. It helps me a lot in memorizing vocabulary.
Wow, that's great.
One more thing. It's also necessary to use the words in practice by talking to others.
That makes sense. I will follow the way you told. When I learn the words, can I practice with you?
Of course. Practice makes perfect. When you retell the words to me, it helps them to stick in your memory more deeply.
You've given me so many great ideas. I will start applying them.
That's great, Julie. I'm here for you if you need help.
Thank you so much for sharing all this with me, David. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Julie. I'm glad I could help. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you. Let's study together and improve together. Yes, I finally won this time. Good job, Julie. You were really fast coming up with that word. No one can think of that English word. How did you do it? I don't really remember when I did learn that word. It just came to me, naturally. You're really getting along quickly with this game. Yeah, you've improved your vocabulary so fast. I have to give all the credit to David here. He has been guiding me and giving me some tips on how to think of words faster. Without him, I wouldn't have improved so fast.
I'm glad I could help, and looks like it's paying off.
You've definitely improved a lot since the last time we played. Agreed. Congratulations on your victory, Julie, and let's keep playing. Thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to playing more and hopefully improving even further. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Remember to practice English every day to improve your skills. Watch the video at least 3 times a week and repeat daily conversations to improve your listening and speaking skills fast. Try to mimic the intonation and pronunciation in the video to enhance your speaking fluency and pronunciation. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on my video. Please subscribe to the Learn English with Jessica channel to watch more helpful videos.